Now we're going to look at the specifics of the muscle tissue, kind of a more microscopic view, what goes on, how do muscle cells contract, so that we have this big overall organ that can do things like lift, move bones, move food, beat the heart, move blood, etc. Again, when you look at all of the muscles, so skeletal, smooth, and cardiac, the characteristics they all share is they're all going to be contractible. They are also all excitable, which can also mean responsive. So basically they're going to respond or become excited to various types of signals. It could be a chemical signal, a stretch signal, or an electrical signal. They all are also conductive, meaning they serve for conductivity of electrical excitation, and they all extend. So they can be stretched out between the contractions. And we'll see that that can actually have an effect on the amount of force the contraction can develop. And then finally, they all can relax. And we see this as an elastic property because they return to their original shape when they relax. And that's part of that elasticity that we see. We've seen a micrograph of skeletal muscle, but here it is again. Remember, this muscle tissue is voluntary, meaning it's under voluntary control. You can tell these muscles to contract or not. It's a striated muscle with these alternating striations of dark and light bands, and it's attached to bones usually. And as I said, these striations are alternating light and dark transverse bands, and they are this way because of the internal contractile proteins. And we will look at that in a minute to see how these contractile proteins and their arrangement give an alternating light and dark effect. It's voluntary control. And the skeletal muscle cells are also known as muscle fibers or myofibers. So you're going to want to know those terms and know what they mean. Skeletal muscle has a lot of components. One of those major components is different fibrous connective tissues. These fibrous connective tissues appear in different places. We have endomysium, which is the name of the connective tissue that's surrounding each muscle fiber. You can see that here. So here is a muscle fiber, and surrounding it is the endomysium, or in between. You can see that endomysium. The paramecium bundles the fibers up into fascicles. The paramecium is actually going to take all of those, or a group of muscle fibers, and wraps them together. The epimecium is going to be the connective tissue that surrounds the entire muscle, so all of the fascicles together. The collagen in a muscle organ is extensible and elastic. It's not, but it is strong, and it's not as elastic as some of the other tissues we've talked about. It's going to stretch a little bit under tension, and it will recoil back to its original shape when it's released from that tension. It does resist excessive stretching, and that is going to be super helpful for protecting our muscles from injury. The collagen helps return that muscle to its resting length. It's also going to contribute to the power output of a muscle and the muscle efficiency by keeping it attached and keeping it pretty much constrained, but also helping provide support.